It's a combination of both new material and of a way of looking at known material, but known material that has not been located and presented in this particular way, that makes this, for me, a really riveting read. He also has a gripping literary style. I go so far as to say a beguiling literary style, and you're just wafted along by the skill with which the presentation is made.
In the summer of 1845, a new plant disease appeared in Ireland, and 3 months later, 95% of the potato crop, the peasantry's main source of food, was destroyed. Britain, which ruled 19th century Ireland then, rushed over a large supply of Indian corn, and from cabin to castle was hailed as a savior. Alas, the gratitude proved premature. When the disease reappeared the following year, 1846, and destroyed 90% of the crop, the British response was less than forthcoming. Direct government aid was sharply reduced, and Ireland, too poor to fund its own relief, quickly collapsed into starvation and disorder. The immigrants of this year are unlike those of former years, the Cork examiner declared. People are now actually running away. Ask a famine immigrant his destination that winter, and he would have told you anywhere that wasn't Ireland. Among those too old, too young, too ill, poor, or frightened to leave, the appearance of mass death compressed life into a single wish, a coffin to be buried in. However, in an Ireland scorned by God, often even that was too much to ask for. At the end of the famine, 1 out of every 3 people was gone, and the survivors felt as stunned and bewildered as the Italian poet Petrarch after the Black Death. Where are our dear friends now, the poet wrote, what lightning bolt devoured them, what earthquake toppled them. There was a crowd of us, now we're almost alone. England had a much more diverse economy, and so that its workers they worked in factories, they did things other than it wasn't a nation of subsistence farmers. They also had a well-established commercial infrastructure of food. So if you lost a major crop like the potato, the new factory worker in Sheffield could go to a store and buy something. It might be expensive, but he could buy food. That didn't happen in Ireland. If you were in Donegal in October of 1846 and your crop was gone, you're going to have a very hard time finding some place to replace it. The 1840s are known as the hungry years in Europe. There were major crop failures in 1845 and in 1846, and these had an important effect on what happened in Ireland. In 1845, the Belgians lost something like 80% of their potato crop, and in Flanders, they lost 92%. The Dutch lost something like 72%. There were significant losses in Prussia, which wasn't yet part of Germany. There wasn't no Union of Germany, and in England. And this pattern repeated itself in 1846. It was somewhat less severe on the continent, but it set off a mad dash for food in the international food commodity markets, which, by the way, were pretty sophisticated for the 1840s. I think an even bigger factor may have been the winter of 1846-1847 was historically bad. I mean, there was a lot of snow. It began snowing in November and it snowed through March.